Everybody has heard about the famous Soupman downtown Kingston, but no one knows the real story. I was there on that day, before the police came, before the crowd turned, before the pot was overturned. People still laugh about it now, but what I saw that morning, I will never forget. Because that wasn't just a soup pot, and that day wasn't just another downtown morning. When I say people traveled from near and far, I mean near and far. From Portmore, from Spanish Town, from Halfway Tree, from places that had no business lining up in downtown heat just for soup. Yet they came. Every morning, before the sun fully rose, his pot was already bubbling. A massive silver pot, scarred by years of fire, sitting on 3 stones like it belonged to another time. No sign, no menu, no name written anywhere, just a line. A line that wrapped around the corner, filled with people who looked tired but determined, like they were waiting for something more than breakfast. The man himself was quiet, medium build, always dressed in the same faded shirt and apron. He spoke little, smiled less, but his hands moved with confidence, like he knew something nobody else did. People talked in line, but not the way they talked anywhere else. Best soup you'll ever taste, real talk, someone would say, almost urgently. Once you eat it, you can't stop, another whispered, lowering their voice like it was a secret. I laughed the first time I heard it, until I tasted it. The soup was thick, rich, deeply flavored in a way that didn't make sense. One spoonful warmed your chest, another made your shoulders relax. By the time you finished, you felt settled, too settled, almost peaceful in a way that felt borrowed. And then later that night, something strange happened. You wanted it again. Not casually, not normally. You craved it. People began arranging their days around that pot, missing appointments, showing up late to work, spending money they didn't have, getting visibly upset when they arrived late and found the pot empty. Arguments broke out in the line, grown adults protecting their place like survival depended on it. Regulars began recognizing each other. Same faces, same urgency, same hollow look in their eyes. This soup changed my life, a woman declared loudly one morning. A man behind her nodded. I dream about it all the time. And slowly, things started getting uncomfortable. Some people said they felt uneasy if they skipped a day. Others complained of headaches when they tried to stop buying it. A few admitted food tasted dull now, like nothing else satisfied them. One woman swore she could smell the soup even when she was nowhere near downtown. Another claimed she heard boiling sounds in her head while lying in bed. But nobody questioned it too deeply, because the soup tasted too good. There were signs, though. The soup man never tasted his own soup. Not once. Not even when people begged him to. And no one ever remembered what time he packed up. One moment the pot would be there, bubbling. The next moment, gone. As if it decided for itself when it was finished feeding. Then, one morning, the pastor came. Downtown Kingston had seen its share of preachers, megaphones, shouting, scripture competing with traffic. Most people ignored them. But this pastor was different. He wasn't shouting. He stood still, Bible in one hand, eyes closed, lips moving softly. His voice was calm, steady, but it carried. Something about him made the line slow down. He spoke about a hunger deeper than the stomach, about things that feed on desperation, about mixtures that promise success but demand control. The soup man froze. When the pastor stepped closer to the pot, the air changed. The bubbling sounded louder, sharper. He spoke of manipulation, of bondage disguised as comfort. The crowd murmured. For the first time, doubt crept in. The soupman's calm cracked. His voice rose, his hands trembled. And then, before anyone could stop him, the pastor grabbed the edge of the pot and tipped it. The soup spilled across the concrete, thick, steaming, unnatural, and people screamed. Because at the bottom of the pot were things that should not have been there. Not food scraps, not seasoning. Strange, dried roots twisted like fingers, powdered substances clumped unnaturally, small objects wrapped in cloth, symbols etched into wood and bone that nobody could explain. The smell changed instantly. It was no longer appetizing. It was sharp, bitter, metallic. Fear replaced hunger in seconds. Police were called. Vendors pulled away their stalls. People who once defended the soupman now stared at him with horror. Downtown turned on him fast. His pot was confiscated, his stall dismantled. He was escorted away while the crowd watched in stunned silence. By the next day, the corner was empty. No pot, no line, no soup. People talked about it for weeks. Some admitted they felt clearer now, lighter. Others confessed they had ignored their instincts because the soup tasted too good to question. Some still walked to the corner out of habit, then stopped, confused, staring at nothing. As for the soupman, nobody knows what became of him. Some say he left Kingston that same night. Others swear they saw him years later in another parish, cooking quietly under a different name. But downtown Kingston never forgot. And to this day, when a pot draws too much of a crowd, when food tastes a little too addictive, people whisper, "Remember the soupman," because not every blessing is clean, and sometimes what feeds you can also control you.